Hi, my name's Tim Reed, real estate agent in the Calgary area, and today we're going to be doing the monthly market update, talking about some statistics, what's going on, and what's in it for you if you're looking to relocate to Calgary, or even if you're thinking about selling, upgrading your property, downsizing your property, or looking to possibly make your first investment in Calgary area as well. What do these statistics mean for you? So stay to the end. We're going to give a really good overview of what parts of Calgary mean what and some amenity overviews there as well. So if you like this video, get value from it, please click that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're putting out content on a regular basis so you know what it's like moving to Calgary and what's going on in the real estate market, and we are here to help. And if you have any questions at all about real estate in Calgary, moving here, communities, we're happy to answer any of your questions. Please give us a call at the number below, send us an email. We'd be happy to book a meeting and speak with you and answer any questions you may have. I'm going to start sharing my screen here and we're going to get into the statistics. Let's get into it right now. So here on my screen is the overview of what's going on in Calgary. This is what the board does for us every month as a recap of the month that just happened. So what happened in October? Was it scary? Was it spooky? What was going on in the month of October, Halloween month? We did wind up getting a little bit of cold weather for the Halloweeners trick-or-treating this year. So that's something you got to consider if you're moving to Calgary and you've had a warm Halloween climate where you might have a different part of Canada or a different part of North America, something to consider. You might want to have costumes underneath the jackets underneath those costumes. So if you're making them yourself, plan for that for the little ones if you have a family. So we saw activity slowed a little bit in inventory hitting the market. So sales were very strong still, and we had a little bit more listings come on the market, but it was almost equilibrium in a lot of different property classes. So overall sales October year over year was up 17%. We see that there. Total residential price benchmark has gone up by 9.7%. So still trending year over year in a higher direction. So here's the thing that changed is that new listings 23%, almost 24% higher. That happened year over year this month. But sales caught up to it in a lot of different categories. So we see some shifting in different property classes due to interest rates, the capital markets, and what's going on in the rental market as well. So when you see more listings hitting the market, you think we might be going more towards balance, but we also had a 40%. We're still 40% lower inventory than we would be seeing in a typical, more balanced market. So it's still favoring the seller in Calgary right now. That is the conditions we're seeing. Detached home prices year over year, just shy of the $700,000 mark. That's starting to get to be a little bit pricey for some families, which is causing the shifts into other types of properties. So you're seeing semi-detached prices going up in almost 630,000 at 628.7. That's a year over year increase of 13%. And the row house. So I'm going to talk about the row house just for a minute here. So that means often there's no condo fees in those properties, but there can be depending on the complex. So row house is a little bit of a gray area when you think about townhouse style homes, where some of them have condo fees, some of them don't. So this is the types of things we have to look at depending on your budget, because that condo fee could affect your mortgage approval. We want to make sure that for our clients, everything fits into your budget. And here's the big story is apartments. So apartment style condos in the core, where there's lots more of them in downtown Calgary, like you see behind me here, there was lots of uptick in October of those properties absorbing. And the major driving force behind that is people are looking for properties. They don't want to be renting. They're moving to Calgary. They want to buy their first home, and the interest rates have just lowered their budget. So they want to buy something, and they can't afford to buy a house or a townhouse. Or even a small house in certain areas, just because the price increases. They're looking into condos to get into the market. They see prices going up. There's possibly some speculating going on in some of the buyers' pool. We never recommend that for our clients, so we can make sure that you're making a buying choice that's safe now and in the future. But 16% price increase year over year in the apartment space, and months of supply year over year still way below historical averages, down by 29.9%. So supply has shrunk overall. This is basically detailing what's in this paragraph. So I'd like to summarize that for you. That's what's going on. People are moving into apartment style condos in greater numbers, which are causing the absorption for those properties to go up. And here is the benchmark price. So that just means the average. And as you can see, all the green arrows, it's going up, going up, going up. So what does that mean for you? People ask me, is it the right time to buy? Is it the right time to sell? Well, that depends on your circumstances, and we'd love to talk to you about it. Again, please get a hold of us with the information below, and we can give you our guidance, our advice of what's going on historically and what your goals are. It's a funny question. People say, should I sell? Should I buy? Well, it depends. Like, what are you looking to do? You looking to move? You looking to downsize, upsize, upgrade? Are you looking to invest? Like, what are your goals? You can't look at what's going on in the news and what's going on in the media to decide whether it's a good time or bad time. It depends on your goals, where you want to go from here, and where you want to be in the future. And we help you in real estate make the best decisions to get you to your goals and not be looking at the noise of what's going on in the marketplace. We'd love to help with that. So city in the core up 5.5%, 600,000 average price there. The new North Calgary, I'll call it here, these regions here above the new Stony Trail, which is our ring road here in Calgary. 548, because there's some newer homes in those neighborhoods. Northwest, big gains. We used to have lower pricing in the Northwest because it was a little bit further out. I think there are a number of forces there. There are bigger, older homes that are in good condition, just that might be dated. So that larger family is starting to go to the northwest of Calgary, and there's lots of amenities there, beautiful parks. You're very close to the west side of town, so you're straight shot to the mountains out 16th Ave or Crowchild to camping, and now skiing season is coming up here soon. So I think that's a factor driving those prices, because you can get a bigger, older house for a little bit less than you could in the southwest area of Calgary, even though our benchmark price is 686. There are some extremely expensive homes, larger, more luxury, high-end finishings, and larger floor plans in the southwest corridor here, significantly higher than this average here. And there are some older homes as well in this corridor here that are the similar sized homes as you'd get here, but they on average are more expensive. So I think that's what's pushing the trend to Northwest Calgary of a lot of those buyers and pushing those prices higher. And Northeast, this is a very large corridor of Calgary. You've got your Calgary Airport right in this area here. That 16% increase. Always a very busy area of town. Lots of properties trading here. Lots of single family homes that are smaller. They were built to be more affordable in the areas and regions and decades that they were built throughout Northeast Calgary growing. And you see up here, these are a lot of new areas here. We've got Redstone, Cornerstone here, new communities here in the northeast of Calgary where those are now starter homes and different price points there. You're not going to have the amenities up here in the new Northeast as you would in the mature Northeast here, where you've got things like leisure centers, wave pools, lots of shopping, multiple shopping malls, more than one Costco, right? Very highly built out, very mature neighborhoods here, but lower price points on average because the homes are a bit smaller. A lot of them still don't have garages, and you got a lot of the townhouse, row house product in that northeast area. And the direct east part of town, very low price point average there, but don't be fooled. There are some expensive homes in this area of town as well. When you're getting into the southeast, southwest corridors of Calgary, getting some price gains here because these more mature neighborhoods are starting to appreciate in price because the city is growing south. So, of course, you get to the outer lying areas, you've got newer, sometimes smaller homes, sometimes much bigger homes. We've got a very luxury community down here called Mahogany, which I'll highlight a little bit later in this video. Beautiful lake community, very higher end homes, but there's also regular single family homes in there, 500, 600,000 in there. And this is why you've got a lower average in the south corridor here. The city is also growing to the southeast, lots of new communities there. We've got new theaters, new shopping being built down here. So it is further away, but if you're not commuting across to the other corner of Calgary, you can get all of your amenities and shopping down in that region without having to drive long distances to get to them. So that's where you're seeing a bit of a lower, like these are neck and neck, southeast, southwest, because we're seeing the growth in both of those two directions here in Calgary right now. So that's just a factor of supply and demand of why you're seeing those averages in those areas. Now, I wanted to go over just some of the trends. So this is months of supply. So you can see it goes up and down over the years, and we've seen a massive dip here in 2021, 2022, and the inventory is still very, very low. Months of supply, going down. So here when we see total sales, this is really telling the story. I know it might be a little bit hard to see what these boxes mean here on the bottom of this chart, but I want to just highlight and say that here is the city center. So when you see this purple section right here, this was the big story. This was the city center. Now, there's not a lot of single family homes in the downtown core of Calgary. So there's lots of condominiums in this region, and this is the big uptick. You see the difference here between here and here. This is the major increase in downtown condo sales that we've seen. And total inventory, of course, the inverse of that has gone down. And total inventory is shrinking. As we see, it's going down and down and down heading into 2023. The trend at a negative slope here from 18 down to 2023. So here we have the chart where we're talking about Calgary total sales. There's the total sales and total new listings. Look at these two lines. They're so close to being neck and neck. This is why we're still seeing a seasonally adjusted strong sellers market, because there are more properties coming on the market now seasonally. That's commonly the case headed into fall. Things are getting colder here in Calgary. That's a typical trend we will normally see, but the sales are catching up to that inventory increase. So we're not seeing much of a net change in the results of what's going on in the marketplace. So what that means for you as a buyer or as a seller, that you're thinking about what's going on in the market. What do these trends mean for me? This means that you can be still looking at strong pricing, looking at lower days on market. You may not have to do as much renovations to the property to get it to sell for top dollar because of that inventory situation. There's less to pick from. Your buyer, when there's more buyers than sellers, supply and demand, they become a little bit less picky about little things around the house. So you may have an easier time of selling. You might not have to fully renovate a home before you can get a price you're happy with. Again, happy to go through those analysis with you and give you a free home evaluation if you're looking to sell here in Calgary in the next short period of time, or even in the future. Just knowing what your property's worth can be a helpful thing to know. So we're happy to help with that. And obviously the total inventory and sales, those map together. So sales, this is the benchmark price here in the red. So the benchmark price is trending up. It started to level off here a little bit through the summer and into the fall, but it has ticked up a little bit since the end of summer here in July. And again, you see inventory and sales. So inventory and sales, when you compare and contrast those two things, inventory, yes, it has gone up. September to October, certainly there's more inventory there, and the sales have creeped down a little, but the net change here is small. And again, total months of inventory, that is trending down, had a little bit of a correction, and it's still on a negative down slope. So inventory months, total months of inventory is still in a decline, which keeps the status at a seller's market. So everybody wants, of course, the ideal white picket fence dream home is typically a single family home. Some people will have a dream home as a condo, big penthouse apartment. That's fine too. But the highest demand sector is always for the single family house, because people want independence. They don't want to have neighbors. They may not like condominiums. It's not their lifestyle. They want to be able to do whatever they want with their home with no restrictions, things of that nature. So detached sales year to date, this is the trend here, just shy of 12,000, and this is the 10-year average line here, and detached sales are lower, certainly because the inventory has been constrained. So detached new listings, again, that's way below the average here, about 40% below the typical average right there. That's the gap, that's the delta. So inventory map to sales, so again, that's what's trending the price. The benchmark price is up, and inventory versus sales is the blue versus the green here. And this is going to be a similar story when we look at apartment sales. This is the piece I wanted to highlight, is the apartment sales. So new apartment, new listings, yes, that has trended up. But the sales, here is again, the sales of apartment sales, that has really jumped up year over year. This is 2022 right here. This is 2023 right here. So that has definitely changed. Lots more sales in the downtown core. So what does this mean for you as a buyer? The most important factor, I would say, is depending on what property type you're looking for, single family, condominium, detached, or row house, whatever the type of property you're looking at, it's important to look at your price range. It's important to look at your budget. It's important to think about what area of town you need to be in to be close to work, close to schools, close to the shopping, entertainment that matters for you and your family. And look at the types of properties you can get for each price point. And then look at the competition, because right now it's a seller's market. We've shown that. We all probably think that by looking at the news. That is the case. It is competitive. It is going to be more competitive on certain types of properties and certain prices than others. Let's face it, $1.2 million properties in Calgary right now are not selling quickly. They are selling slower than they would be because the interest rates, the buyers are very discerning. They're being very careful with their budgets too, because we have to look and think about 6 months ago, buying a house that's $1 million, your payments doubled, right? Well, going back 9-10 months ago, the end of last year versus now, the end of this year, 2023, the cost of buying a luxury home has significantly increased. And not everybody pays cash for those buildings. Certainly, a lot of those families are getting mortgages. They are using financing, so their costs have gone up, as well as the other inflationary pressures. So if you're looking at a single family house and your budget's $400,000, you are going to be going into a highly competitive environment. If you're looking to buy a condominium and your budget's $400,000, you've got lots of options. You're unlikely to be competing in many cases. You can buy older properties. They're all over Calgary. You can find those types of properties in any quadrant in Calgary you're looking for. But if you're looking for a row house with no condo fees and your budget's, again, $400,000, that is a much rarer property. There's less of those in the inventory pool. You will be competing on those. You will be competing on half duplex properties, and you will be competing on certain types of investment properties. Because of that mania in the market, depending on what type of property you're after, you may want to consider that as what type of property you want to buy, because you may be competing. You might not have to compete as much or at all with different types of properties. And you have to make sure that property makes sense for you now and in the future. And again, we can help you with that, give you the numbers. You can see the trends in the market. We are seeing prices go up. We're seeing inventory remain low. We're seeing competition remain high. That's one of the things that is important to know when you're coming to this market. You will be competing a lot of the times, and we have strategies to help you make sure that you don't pay too much and you can still get the property and still get the home that works for you and your family, and make the process as seamless as possible when it is a little bit more challenging market for buyers. The market for sellers, of course, is very good. It's very favorable. The odds are in your favor, certainly, but that doesn't mean that selling a house is ever simple or easy. There's still a process. There's things that you should do, tips and advice we can give you to sell your property for top dollar, the lowest amount of time. There are still things that you may have to do to the property to make sure that it doesn't delay the sale, cause issues with inspection. Selling a property, buying a property, it's never simple. It's never simple and perfect and easy. If anyone tells you that, just don't listen to them, because they're not telling you the truth. So back to the row sales. So we're seeing big trending up in row sales. Lots of those. It's because of the condo fees. So a row house without condo fees is easier to buy because it doesn't have the condo fee considerations. There's more money in the budget, so you have more flexibility. You can pay a little bit more for the property because the monthly cost is lower, because the bank always counts those condo fees towards your mortgage approval. So the condo fees can shrink your mortgage approval, which is why the row house without condo fees included is a very popular product right now in Calgary. So that would be one of the competitive sectors. If you're new moving to Calgary and you want to know what the city's all about, I wanted to just zoom in here and show a little bit more about the map here. So you've got an idea what these boxes with all of these stats actually mean. So central Calgary, here's your downtown. This is downtown Calgary right here. When we talk about Northwest Calgary, it's these communities here, some of these communities here, and this is north. The new areas here in Calgary are these areas here: Redstone, Livingston, Evanston, Sage Hill, Nolan Hill. These are the new areas of Calgary. This is the ring road here going all the way down. We're so excited, it's almost done. It goes all the way down and out of Calgary here. The ring road down here. Highway number 1 through Canada goes through the middle of Calgary here. This is 16th Ave. That's noted. It goes through the northern quadrant of downtown, just off of downtown here. So this is the expensive Southwest area I was talking about. Larger homes, executive homes, estate homes, large lots, triple car garage homes. If you think, high-end finishings, very large houses. This is the area you're going to be in here. And there's some new areas here as well. Not as many though. The city is not growing east and west as much as it is growing north and growing aggressively to the south. So looking at those places here, this is the Glenmore Reservoir, beautiful hiking and parks around here. Fish Creek Park, this is just a beautiful area. Nature reserve park here going all through Calgary here in the southern areas. This is your southwest corridor south of downtown, and these are your newer areas. So Chaparral's newer, Walden, Legacy, Yorkville, these are all new areas here. Auburn Bay, and that lake community I spoke about, which is absolutely gorgeous, just a beautifully designed neighborhood. The developer did just such an excellent job there, is Mahogany. People love Mahogany, they love Auburn Bay. These are both lake communities, as well as there is other lake communities like Sundance and other older lake communities in Calgary as well. Some man-made lakes, if you want to be able to do that in the summer, if that's important to your family. So this is the area where it's growing down here to the southeast. This is our industrial corridor here, Foothills Industrial area here. This is the southeast corridor, great rental areas in here. And then this is the airport, and then all around the airport you've got these new areas here, Cityscape, Cornerstone. Those are the new areas of the northeast I spoke about earlier. And then you've got Saddle Ridge, Martindale, Taradale, Whitehorn. This is the older northeast, and this is why you see those lower price points, because there's just lots of older homes that were smaller. You have an average smaller house here than you would certainly in some of the areas of the southwest. Definitely older northwest, larger homes there. And being close to the airport, of course, there is a consideration of the planes flying over and the noise. So the property values will be a little bit less in these areas, because you're going to have airplanes flying across the region, landing and taking off from the airport. And people that live there, you live there for a number of months, you will almost not realize that it's there. But it could bother some people. That might not be for everyone. So something to consider for those areas of the Northeast. So this has been the market update for October 2023. It is still a seller's market. If you're looking to sell your home and you want to know what your property's worth, we have a guaranteed sale program. We'd love to talk to you about the details of that. My name's Tim Reed. Again, like this video. If you love stats and you got some value from this video, it really helps us out. And if you want to talk about real estate and have any of your questions answered, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in Calgary, my name's Tim Reed, real estate agent in the Calgary area. We'll see you in the next video.